Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel name is Civil Engineering General Knowledge. Uh, Viewers, I have a request. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Thank you. Guys, in this session I am going to discuss about the concrete comprehensive introduction from 0 to 100, everything about the concrete. This video is very special, guys. Please do not skip the video and watch till the end, because it's, once from starting when going, then the video will this is very interesting and you will learn a lot about this concrete. Guys, let's start the video. Concrete. What is concrete? A composite mixture of water, aggregate, cement, and sometimes additives. Is an essential material in the construction and building industry, used across number of different applications in the residential industries, commercial and maritime sector. Concrete brings structural rigidity to structure, and consequently the quality of concrete is critical if structures are to be safe and severe the purpose for which they were designed. Concrete has a strength. What is the strength for this concrete? Guys, I'm just going this in short. Concrete strength, because this topic is going too much long. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm in short. I'm just say something on a strength of concrete. One of the most important factors before ordering the ready-mix concrete is known as the required compressive strength. Concrete is much strong in compression and less in tension. Unlike steel is more strong in tension and less strong in compression. This we should remember. What is strength of concrete? For example, we have M15 grade of concrete, M20, M25, M30, M35, M40, M50 or above. What is the common range for strength of concrete? We consider 3,000 to 5,000 psi. What is psi? Pound per square inch. If we cast a concrete after 28 days or 21 days under curing condition, and after that if you want to test this concrete under UT machine or compression machine, test results should be 3,000 to 5,000 psi, pound per square inch of the concrete. This is but it is different for different grade of concrete. For this is the wide range from 3,000 to 5,000 psi, pound per square inch. Guys, another important ingredient of concrete is called as aggregate or coarse aggregate. We have in concrete mixed cement, sand. We can call it as a fine sand or coarse sand, and aggregate. And aggregate is also different sizes. We'll discuss later on. A maximum coarse aggregate must also be specified when the ordinary ready-mix concrete. If you use larger coarse aggregate, for example 35 millimeter or 40 millimeter or 50 millimeter size of the aggregate in cross section where the steel ratio is high. If we use for such a structure high congested reinforcement rebars, then we cannot use coarse aggregate and 50 millimeter or 45 or 35 40 size of aggregate, because the rebars spacing is less, then the concrete will not properly be on the formwork inside the rebars. That will again make a problem because the spacing of concrete is less. High congested reinforcement rebars, we cannot use the higher size of aggregate for that. We should take care of that also. We should use less than spacing of rebars, the size of aggregate. These things should be considered for aggregate size. Maximum aggregate, see guys, this is the important part. Maximum aggregate size shall not exceed 1/5 the narrowest inside from the dimension and shall not be greater than 3/4 the spacing between the rebars. This is important part. Normally the structure engineer will provide the guideline and direction in this regard to aggregate sizing. Another important criteria for concrete, for fresh concrete, is concrete slump. Slump is consistency of concrete when it is being placed. Slump shall be specified low, although it will vary depending on the reinforcement spacing, formwork type, and slope of the place where will be placed the concrete. Slump are also determined by ACI standard, although we can recommend the following. Guys, this is the important part for the slump. Guys, the slump shall be between 2 to 5 inches. We can also say between 3 inch minimum and 6 inch maximum, but this is again depends on the grade of concrete and water cement ratio and so many other factors, but we should know the minimum and maximum slump ranges. It's with minimum from 2 to 6, depend on the grade of concrete and concrete required for the different, for example, for footings, for wall, for RCC wall, for the slab, for the beams, columns. For this, that again the slump is dependent on this structural member where we pour the concrete. Ordering ready mix concrete. Ready mix concrete is normally ordered by the cubic yard or cubic meter. This is the concrete measurement volume of concrete we use by cubic meter and the cubic yard. The typical truck can be delivered between 9 to 11 cubic yard maximum. Between 9 to 11 that the truck carry the concrete. But I just highlighted some important points because of this video is too long. I don't want to make it very long, but I just highlighted some important point. Other important tips. Remember to also know if you are using a mixture, especially how far the job site is far from the batch plant. The arrival time of the concrete that will you requesting the desired spacing of concrete track. Specify if you need any fiber for the plasticizer, how the concrete is going to be placed, by pump, by tailgate or wheelbarrow. This all makes sense. Air or non-air mix, total amount of ready mix concrete, the contract person, concrete mix ID number, and the purpose of the concrete. Finally, inform the concrete batch plan to condition of where the ready-mix concrete will be placed. Slope, inclined roof, limited space basement or roof, or any relevant information that could affect the schedule of the pour concrete pouring. Guys, another terms, how they estimate the concrete cost. The cost of new concrete involves much more than the price of concrete per yard or meter. There are many variables to concrete, such as the surface preparation, formwork, reinforcement materials, and the finish work, plus the cost of the ready-mix concrete, and will add up the total price of the job. Cost for the specific item will vary from the location to location or from site to site, but you will get a rough estimation using some average amount. Guys, if you want this file, this information, just please comment on this comment section. I will link this file to you, or share it, and you can read by yourself. This is very important knowledge about the concrete, everything from concrete. Cost per yard of ready-mix concrete. The most important item to consider the price of concrete where you're using the ready-mix concrete or other concrete material. The ready-mix concrete supplier can give your quotation once you define the project specification and provide the job location. It's important. Concrete pricing is typically quoted per cubic yard. The unit measurement of volume of concrete, cubic yard or cubic meter. For an average estimation, you can use 77 per cubic yard. Rate of concrete per cubic yard is 77 USD. Cost of concrete subgrade work. This involves many other factors. For example, if you are placing concrete over soil, you will need to grade or prepare the surface for the concrete. Guys, this is a very logic statement. Yes, pricing for this can include the expenses related to grading, compacting soil, excavation, trench, and other components. As a good average, you can use 65 per hour of the work need to be prepare the surface. This cost also include in this 77 if our surfaces excavated surface, then we need to compaction these types of stuff. Guys, one important term is 1 cubic meter is equal to 1.3 cubic yard. Cubic meter is greater than cubic yard. This is the relation which also asked an exam interview question. This is a very important relationship between the cubic meter and cubic yard. 1 cubic meter is equal to 1.3 cubic yard. Remember this. Cost of extra subgrade or site work. This also increase the cost of the concrete. For example, this could also over $10 per cubic yard or meter to estimation. If the surface is not leveled, you may need to be at expenses for more the site work, such as excavation and filling with suitable material or movement of soft spot on the terrain to make the suitable for the structural load, depending on the distance from where you will provide sand and other suitable filling material. This will could also add $10 per cubic yard. Cost of concrete formwork. For the concreting, we need a formwork. Before concreting, the element should formwork. Uh, Building concrete formwork usually represent a significant portion of the total cost of the concrete work. As this, guys, for the formwork can priced in 1.10 per square foot. The cost of formwork is 1.1 per square foot of concrete area. This is very important. I highlighted. Cost to finish concrete. Concrete price can vary significantly depending on the type of the finishing specified in the design. Concrete can be finished in many different ways, such as a smooth surface, exposed aggregate surface, or stamp concrete finish. Some surface may require only a strike off and screed to proper contour and elevation, while for other surface broomed, floated or troweled finish may be specified. Guys, cost of concrete reinforcement. Approximately Reinforcement costs approximately 0.18 cent per square foot. Per square foot of the reinforcement cost is 0.18 cent USD. Guys, method for the testing compressive strength of concrete. Guys, I will link this document, this entire information to you on the comment section. You can go and download this entire information. Just now I am reading this. You can don't worry, no worries, you will get this entire file link. You can download. This is very important information. Guys, a method for the testing compressive strength of concrete. As we in starting I told about the strength of concrete. For compressive strength of concrete, these are some tests we can perform for the achieving the compressive strength of concrete. First one is rebound hammer or skimmed hammer, ASTM C805. ASTM is American Society of Testing of Material. This is very important code. Guys, for compressive strength of concrete, these are the tests: rebound hammer test, penetration resistant test, ASTM, this is the code C803, ultrasonic pulse velocity, ASTM C597, pull-out test. For compressive strength, we use this pull-out test. Drilled core, ASTM C42, cast and place cylinder, ASTM C8S73, wireless maturity sensor. These are the tests used to determine the compressive strength of concrete. Guys, these are the very important question. Every civil engineer must know these things. Much asked frequently in exam interview question. Guys, we should know as a civil engineer, this is a basic knowledge about concrete. Guys, please don't skip this video and watch till end. This is very informative video. Please make sure to subscribe my YouTube channel. It will help me, guys, and you will get the benefit. It will encourage me and motivate me to upload another videos, and good knowledge you will get. Guys, we discussed testing compressive strength of concrete. These were the tests. Next, here are 6 common quality tests on concrete before and after completion of casting on site. Casting means concrete pouring, means concreting on site. These are the 6 tests. What are those 6 tests? Slump test before leaving the batching plant and arrival on site. We should take a slump test on each batch of concrete, starting from end, from in middle. We take the slump and check the slump value. Compressive strength test, water permeability test, we do perform on the concrete. These are the quality. Guys, quality is something different. Once we do the concreting, we should take the from concrete sample for the slump test, for the compressive strength, water permeability. Once the concrete is casted, we do test on the water permeability. How much water this concrete absorb. This is the permeability that allows the flow of water inside the concrete during the curing of concrete. Rapid chloride ion penetration test. This is another test. Water absorption test. Initial surface absorption test. These are the 6 common quality tests. The above test we discussed is here. Guys, let me yes, what are the tests conducted on fresh concrete? One test which performed on a fresh concrete. Fresh concrete means once we receive the concrete from the batch plant for the pouring, this is called as a fresh concrete. And another concrete is hardened concrete. After 12 hour, after 1 hour setting time of concrete, final setting of concrete, then concrete get hardened. For the fresh concrete, these are the tests. Routine standard test for the fresh concrete includes workability. We should check the workability of fresh concrete, air content of the concrete. For the decreasing the air bubbles inside the concrete, we add some admixtures, plasticizer inside the concrete to reduce the air bubbles inside concrete. And maturity, the most common and often the only testing for the hardened concrete is measuring the compressive strength and flex ultra strength. For the hardened concrete, measuring compressive strength of concrete. These are the tests for the hardened concrete. What construction material are usually tested? Guys, construction materials, for example, the concrete is tested, soil testing, brick for the construction test, steel rebars. All construction materials once we receive on the site, especially cement also test. For there is a lot of tests on cement. One is field test, another is laboratory test, and I just talk about in the previous my videos. Soil modified standard practor bearing. These are the tests of performed on the soil. Modified standard practor bearing ratio classification test, swell test, compressive strength test of the soil, pH testing, chloride sulfate testing, hydraulic conductivity test on soil, consolidation on site, permeability testing on soil, shear testing, and more testing on soil within. What are the different types of concrete tests? Most common quality tests on fresh concrete are as follow. These are the fresh concrete quality test. Workability test, we discussed this in the previous slide also. Workability concrete mixture is measured by VB consist meter. The workability, this is a very important question, guys. The workability of concrete is measured in VB consist meter. This is an apparatus that measures the workability of concrete, flowability of concrete. Compaction factor test. This also perform on the fresh concrete quality. We check for the quality of fresh concrete. And slump test, air content test, setting test, setting time test, compressive strength test, tensile strength test, permeability test on concrete, in situ test on concrete. Guys, this was a test on fresh concrete. For quality of fresh concrete, these are the tests, very important, guys. This we should remember and take care of these important points, and remember because this as lifetime we should remember these points. This is most important for a civil engineer, must know these things. How do you determine the grade of concrete? Grade of concrete is determined by prefix M to the desired strength in megapascal. The strength of concrete is measured in megapascal. Newton per mm square is called as megapascal, or we can measure the pound per square inch, psi. Megapascal or pound per square inch, or psi. For example, a grade of concrete is M20. We call it as 20 megapascal strength. It will be denoted by M20, where M is standard for mix. This grade of concrete is converted into various mix proportion. We'll talk about later on. Guys, what are the properties of fresh concrete? What are the properties of fresh concrete? We will discuss in detail below different properties of fresh concrete. What are the properties of fresh concrete? The fresh concrete should be workable, flowable, setting time should has a fresh concrete setting time, initial and final setting time. Segregation, these are the properties of the fresh concrete. The ingredients of concrete will segregate. Plastic shrinkage, this is the properties of the shrink. Once the water is lost the water, the concrete lost their water, then the concrete will shrink. Thermal shrinkage, due to low temperature, or maybe in the summer season due to high temperature, this shrinkage occurs. Thermal expansion, concrete expands on that low temperature. Also expansion always happen on the high temperature, and sometimes in the low temperature also some deformations occurs in the concrete. Water cement ratio, these are the properties of the fresh concrete. Guys, this is very important question, many times asked in the exam paper and thus interview question, the properties of fresh concrete. How many types of concrete grades are there? Guys, this is also another important question. For example, for M7.5, M is mix ratio 7.5. What is the ratio for M7.5? 1 cement, 4 sand, 8 is aggregate. What is the compressive strength in mix of 7.5? The compressive strength is 1087 psi, 1087 pound per square inch of this concrete. This is the strength for the M7.5. For M10, 1 cement, 3 sand, 6 aggregate. What is the strength for the M10? 1450 psi per square inch. Or what is the ratio for M15? 1 to 4, 1 cement, 2 sand, 4 aggregate. What is the strength for M15? 2175 pound per square inch. What is the ratio for M10, M20? 1 sand, 1.5 1 is cement, 1.5 is sand, and 3 is aggregate. What is the strength for that? 2900 psi or pound per square inch. Guys, on the previous slide we discussed the from minimum strength of concrete to maximum strength of concrete. The ranges between 3000 psi to 5000 psi. For the higher grade of concrete, it goes up to 5000 psi. How do you measure the quality of construction material? This is another important topic. Although the checking the construction quality is not an easy task, obviously, guys. But these are some provision for the checking the quality of the construction material. Investigation the soil, determining the structural design, check the concrete mix, this is important. Inspect the wall thickness, yes, this is also factors for the quality of construction material. Ensure the safety features, yes. Look for the paint and the plastering quality, yes, this is also another factor. And examine the elevator. What is construction testing? Construction material testing, CMT, construction material testing, primarily involve testing the structural material used for the build new project, from the ground up material and the component used for the construct new additions, new components being added on an existing facility. What grade of cement is best? There is two types of cement grade, 43 and 53. Ordinary Portland cement, OPC grade 43 cement. It is used majorly for wall plastering works, non-RCC structures and pathway. Guys, OPC, ordinary Portland cement grade 43 used for the plastering work and non-RCC structure and some pathway. And ordinary Portland cement OPC grade 53 cement. This is another cement grade. Portland Pozzolana cement PPC. PPC means Portland Pozzolana cement. PSC, what is PSC? Portland slag cement and white cement. What is the strongest concrete mix ratio? 1 cement, 3 sand, 5 aggregate. This is the strongest mix ratio. What is concrete slump range? Guys, again, this is important question. I just in the previous slide I explained this slump ranges between 2" to 6". Depends on the grade of concrete and depends on the element we do in the concrete pouring. The slump test also varies. Slump measures of concrete consistency and flowability. Fluidity, it shows the flow and overall workability of fresh concrete mix. The range is maybe from 4". I just explained from 2" to 6". We can use the slump. Again, that is depends on the grade of concrete, obviously. What is the properties of hardened concrete? We talked about fresh concrete, properties of fresh concrete. What is the properties of the hardened concrete? Properties of hardened concrete. Performance of concrete is evaluated from the mechanical properties, which include shrinkage and the creep, compressive strength, tensile strength, flexural strength, and the modulus of elasticity. These are the properties of concrete, hardened concrete. Compressive strength, tensile strength, flexural strength of hardened concrete, and modulus of elasticity of the hardened concrete. What are the properties of fresh and hardened concrete? Properties of hardened concrete is strength. Concrete is strong in compression but relatively weak in tension and bending. Yes, I explained this earlier. Concrete is strong in the compression and relatively weakened tension and bending. Durability, this is for the hardened concrete. Durability might be defined as the ability to maintain the surface, the satisfactory performance over the extent of service life. Volume stability, this is the again the other of properties of the hardened concrete. Workability, consistency, and cohesiveness. Guys, another important thing about concreting is test for the concrete quality check, quality test on fresh concrete, workability test, air content, sitting time, test on hardened concrete, compressive. These tests on the quality check, quality of the fresh concrete. These are for fresh concrete. Check out sitting time, air content test, workability test, quality test on the fresh concrete bus. But this is on the hardened concrete. Test on hardened concrete, compressive strength test, tensile strength, modulus of elasticity, permeability test on concrete, in situ test on concrete, compression test, slump test for quality test. What test for the concrete quality check? This is also discussed in the previous slide. I'm just skipping this. Quality test on the fresh concrete. This is also as a repeated portion. Most common quality test for fresh concrete is fresh concrete. As the name suggests, it's a soft fresh concrete. Fresh concrete should quality test on the fresh concrete should be workable test, workability test. Workability of the concrete mixture is measured by VB, consistency meter. This is the apparatus name. Compaction factor test. This is also measured by workability of concrete by compaction factor test and slump test. Guys, this is very important. Workability test. We test the workability of concrete by these things: by VB consistometer, by compaction factor test, by slump test. These three tests is performed on the fresh concrete. Air content test. What is the air content test? Air content measure of the total air content in a sample of the fresh concrete, but does not indicate what is the final in place air content. Yes, because certain amount of air is lost in the transportation, consolidating, placement, and finishing. Setting time. This action of changing mixed cement from the fluid state to solid state is called as a setting time of cement concrete. This is setting time. What is setting time? Is two type. One is initial setting time, another is final setting time. What is initial? It is defined as the period of elapsing between the time where the water is added to the cement and the time at which the needle of 1 millimeter square section fills to pieces test block to the depth of about 5 millimeter from the bottom of the mold. This is initial setting time. Final setting time is defined as the period of elapsing between the time where the water is added to the cement and the time where the needle of 1 millimeter square section with the 5 millimeter diameter attached makes an impression on the block. Its final setting time. Initial setting time is 30 minutes and final setting time is 1 hour to 12 hour, depends on the weather condition, climate condition. Other tests conducted on fresh concrete. Segregation, was the concrete is fresh, the fresh concrete, conduct fresh concrete. The test for the fresh concrete: segregation resistant. The fresh concrete should be segregation free or segregation resistance. Unit weight, wet analysis, temperature. We should check the temperature of fresh concrete. Heat generation, bleeding. We'll talk what is bleeding, guys. Segregations means the ingredients of concrete will not the consistence or not the sticky. The waters segregate and separately act as it's not a integrate part. This integration of the ingredients of concrete is called the segregation. Bleedings means the waters out of the other materials of cement, sand, aggregate. The water loss or waters, the spring of this pairing of water from the concrete mix is a bleeding. Water is separating from the mix is a bleeding. Test on the hardened concrete. Most common quality test hardened concrete or compressive test. This is also a repeated portion we discussed on the previous slide. The common compressive strength of the concrete provides an idea about the characteristics of the concrete. Tensile strength, guys, this is also discussed. Modulus of elasticity, it's also discussed. Permeability test, concrete. Another in situ test on concrete. Other quality test conducted on the to test the following: modulus of rupture, density, shrinkage, creep, freeze, thaw, resistance, resistance to aggressive chemicals, resistance to abrasion, bond reinforcement, absorption. Guys, compression test and slump test for the quality test. Guys, on my previous video I completely discussed about the slump cone test. This is the apparatus for the slump cone test. And from bottom of the cone is 200 millimeter, top of the cone is 100 millimeter, and the height of the from the pallet to the top of the cone is 300 millimeter or equal to 30 centimeter. Guys, slump test, steel slump cone. This is the steel slump cone. This is the foot ribs. This hat has two lifting handle. Guys, this is a rod 600 millimeter long into 16 millimeter diameter of this bar. Tapping rod, we call it as a tapping rod. This guys, once we pour the concrete inside this slump cone apparatus in the 3 layers and 25 times by using this dumping rod, we hit the concrete to sit on all portion uniformly. And again, this is the plate. We invert this, we remove this cone and place it invertly. This is our concrete, this is our cone, inverted cone. This is the plate at same level, and we use this stamping rod, and this is the scale. We use take the height from this rod to concrete top portion. This is nothing but the stamping rod inverted slump. This is the slump value. This is from here to here. This is the slump value. Guys, this slump value is ranges from 2 inch to 6 inch, depends on grade of concrete, depends on the element we doing the concrete pouring. For example, for slump, column, beam, This slump depends on the structural member and grade of concrete. Importance of testing. Uh, Guys, for the hardened concrete for fresh concrete, we used some apparatus, some tests. For example, fresh and hand hardened concrete testing. This is for workability test. We use the VB test and slump cone test for fresh concrete. Non-destructive testing of hardened concrete. Once the concrete is poured and after 28 days we do the cope curing, everything is done. We take some sample during the concrete apart from this slump contest, some cubic, we cast some cube test and our cylinder test after 28 days under curing. We test the samples and we measure the strength of concrete in PSI or megapascal. Accordingly, we achieve the strength of concrete. These are the tests also conduct on the concrete. Non-destructive testing or hardened concrete, compression machine. Guys, this cube or the cylinder tested after 28 days or 21 days under this compression machine, and we take the readings and result by this machine. Guys, another compression machine accessories. These are some parts of compression testing machine. What is flexural and transverse machine and accessories? See, this concrete is casted sample for the testing by using that flexural and transverse machine accessories. We test on this machine. Guys, what is how concrete is tested? This is also discussed. This is repeated. Fresh and hardened concrete testing. This is also discussed in the previous slides. Compression testing machine. Typically, concrete cube are cured and tested in a manual and automatic concrete compression machine at the 7 days, 28 days to access the compressive strength. Comprehensive range of the concrete compression machine is able to test the concrete mortar and the other such as cube, cylinder, flagstone and the beam. These are testing and machines for this compressive strength. Non-destructive testing. What is non-destructive testing, guys? Concrete cores can be taken from the hardened concrete for testing, but non-destructive testing, NDT. NDT means non-destructive testing. For example, if we cast a concrete beam or slab or maybe column after 28 days, if during the concrete we casted some cubes, some cylinders or flagness samples, if that samples fails under compression machine, what we can do for to ensure that our concrete element member, building member is safe in strength or not, we use the NDT, non-destructive testing. Non-destructive testing, I explain, we take from, for example, from column, there is a instrument, we just bore some portion from the column. We do not damage the reinforcement. First, by using some equipment, we find the rebars, the location. Once the rebar location is allocated, determined, we by using our instrument, we bore a hole on concrete then such a place that it will not touch the rebars, and we take our sample and test it under compression machine. Concrete cores can be taken from the hardened concrete for the testing, but non-destructive testing equipment enable the testing in situ concrete for the concrete sample. Provides crack determination microscope and rebound hammer for the testing the concrete for the measuring the surface hardness and the penetration resistance. Non-destructive testing equipment also include the ultrasonic detection for the initial condition testing, rebar detection. I explained this. Rebar detection, pull-off testing, pulse velocity, and in situ water permeability test. Concrete testing, what is included in this? Testing of concrete is vital for ensuring the strength and the resilience of the built structure. Test of concrete material can be divided into primary stage and field testing and laboratory testing. Field testing of concrete. Field testing of concrete can occur during the concrete installation or during the investigation evaluation of the installed concrete to determine the strength of concrete. During the concrete on-site field test, we just take samples on the cylinder and slump cone test and flowability, workability test. We do that during the concrete. Concrete testing tools in the field: slump cone test and empty cylinders. I just discussed the things, same thing. Concrete slump test. This is also repeated portion. I don't want to waste the time on this again and again. Air content test. Air is entered within concrete to provide an expansion and contraction capability, particularly in an area that experience significant swing in the outside temperature, such as the northern US and Canada. Field air content testing of the concrete is conducted to determine that delivered concrete is within the air content specification established by the engineer. Unit weight. This is also important element. For example, the unit weight of the concrete for different grades of concrete. It started from 1800 kilogram per meter cube in 1 cubic meter of concrete. For some lightweight concrete, maybe 1800 kilogram per cubic to varies. For the high grade concrete, it goes up to 2400 kilogram per square per cubic meter to 2700 kilogram per cubic meters. Depends on the grade of concrete. The unit weight also varies. Field testing of existing concrete. This is also repeated. Rebound hammer test. The primary means of the non-destructive testing concrete is through the use of the rebound hammer test. The hammer work through firing an spring-loaded mass at the concrete and measuring the value of the rebound of the mass of the concrete. This value can compared against the conversion chart to provide the rough estimation of the compressive strength of concrete. Typically, the hammer must be elaborated before use of the test applied to the several points in the testing area to establish an average value. Destructive concrete test. What is destructive concrete test? To obtain the much more accurate value of the concrete compressive strength. Destructive testing can be used this method. The existing concrete is cored and cylinder removed, and this which is then delivered to laboratory for the testing using the same method. To that applied the cylinder from in recently poured concrete. We covered a laboratory compressive test below. This is laboratory test performed on concrete. What are these? Test for the compressive strength of the flexural strength. This is done in the laboratory. Flexural strength after take with cube test and cylinder test, and 28 or 27 days we perform the flexural test on the concrete, flexural strength of concrete. The best than do destructive testing in the laboratory. Compressive strength lab test. See, these are the cylinder test. We pour the concrete on the cylinder for 28 or 28 days or 21 days in order to determine the concrete what was delivered and placed at the construction site is meeting the strength required as established by the engineers. This compression strength is determined in the laboratory. Guys, the compressive strength of concrete is between 2000 psi to 5000 psi. Depends on the many factors. For example, grade of concrete depends on grade of concrete and some other factors. Tensile or flexural strength of concrete. The concrete is weak to tensile or flexural testing. In addition to that compressive strength test, concrete installation, aircraft runway and highway application often undergoes flexural strength or a tensile strength testing. Specimen are created in the shape or for the rectangular beam which when cured is subjected to the load on both sides until it snaps in the center, providing the engineers with the measures of the concrete's ability to withstand the bending force. It's called as the tensile or flexural testing of concrete. Concrete testing again, these are some destructive testing going here for this concrete, taking a core this boring a hole on concrete and take a sample for the laboratory test. Guys, typical fresh concrete test. So what tests are typically run or would be beneficial to conduct on a small size construction project? Here is the basic checklist. ASTM, American Society of Testing of Material, C172, sampling fresh mixed concrete. For this code, temperature of freshly mixed concrete. For this code, simply hydraulic cement concrete. This code is air contained fresh concrete by the pressure method, air contained fresh concrete by volumetric, roulometer, density unit weight. This is the methods. Guys, sampling are per ASTM C172. This first step in determining the concrete place, simplest with the specification, the guidelines, and the other. We explained this already, guys. This is the instrument we insert inside the concrete, fresh concrete, and we see the measure the temperature of concrete in a hot season or maybe in the winter season. Sometimes the concrete temperature is high, maybe 40 degree, 37, and sometimes below minus we should check the temperature of concrete by using this instrument. Guys, concrete slump test, this is already discussed, no need to waste the time for this again. Air content, this is the instrument for air content test. A type, B, pressure meter is used. Pressure meter is used to determine the air content of normal way concrete. The air and content is read at the dial. Here is that some ampere dial gauge that which is calibrated for each apparatus. The aggregate correction factor explained as theme must be subtracted from your reading to obtain the air content. See, this is the apparatus for the air content test on concrete. Guys, density or unit weight, I discussed this also with you. Concrete cylinder testing, I also discussed about this in detail. A test cylinder cast to verify the specified compressive strength of a mixed concrete has been achieved. Typically 6-inch diameter and 12-inch tall. The cylinder size is 6-inch diameter and 12-inch height. Tall plastic mold are used to some project 4-inch diameter and 8-inch height. That's different size of cylinders. We take the sample. Guys, these are the showing the samples taken by cylinder testing. Guys, effects of selected testing errors, this is also we should consider these things. Guys, come to next point, estimating the strength and the durability of hardened concrete. Examination defect in concrete. Some tests gave some errors. We should repeatedly for 3 times cross check that whether the result is right or wrong. We should not rely on 1 time. We should perform it 3 times to ensure the correct result. Conduct sampling, also this is explained. Choose testing laboratory, also this is discussed. Determine the compressive strength of the hardened concrete, this is destructive testing. This rebound hammer test, this is the apparatus for rebound hammer test. This is sample taken from the construction elements concreted, maybe from slab or some columns, beams. This is the destructive types of test. Guys, a steam rebound number of the hardened concrete. This is also a little bit discussed. Estimation for the concrete durability. Concrete should be durable. This is the properties of hardened concrete. Air void parameter in the 100 concrete, hardened concrete. Measuring the thickness of concrete element using the drilled concrete core. Water soluble chloride content in the concrete. Guys, this was comprehensive introduction on concrete. Hope you like this video and helpful for you guys. Please kindly request to subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon for the more updates. Guys, don't worry, I will link this all information in the comment section. You go and download this all information and take advantage of this. Have a nice time. Goodbye.